Hello everyone, I am Hlonim Timkulu. This is eshibobo and it's great to have you with us. Now with the PSL season over, attention will now shift to the transfer market, which is set to be another exciting window. Big name players like Andile Jali and Kama Billiard are clubless and have already made their way into the rumour mill, while some clubs may be hit by major exits, with Musa Libusa and goalkeeper Brandon Peters linked with exits from Ajax Cape Town. Now the SAFA Elective Congress went ahead as planned, with President Danny Jordan re-elected unopposed following eNCA's withdrawal. While Ngobo's part in the saga seems over, Chief Mwelo Nonkonyana has now stepped in and says he will fight the whole Congress. Meanwhile, coachless Kaizer Chiefs might like to look north for a new coach, maybe Zinedine Zidane, after the Frenchman stepped down at Real Madrid days after a third consecutive UEFA Champions League triumph. But the biggest news of the week must be Black Leopards' rise. After 3 previous attempts, the day has finally come for Lidota Duba as they won the promotion playoffs and will campaign next season in the Absa Premiership. Now here's what's coming up on today's show. Mamelodi Sundowns say it will be hard to defend their Absa Premiership title next season. Former Kaizer Chiefs coach Steve Kompella is a wanted man, according to his agent Tim Sugazi. And we catch up with the national under-17 women's coach Simpiwe Dludlu. But first, it's competition time, starting with last week's winner. Bafana Sibeko of Standerton in Mpumalanga walks away with our last Cayman Lounge suite with 20,000 Rand, courtesy of Goma Goma. We have a new competition this week and it's brought to you by Builders Warehouse. They're giving away 2 Mastercraft aluminium toolbox and socket sets valued at 4,800 Rand each to 2 lucky winners. Now, doing your last-minute preparation for the cold season, get to Builders Warehouse and get it done. Visit www.builders.co.za to view their promotion deals or visit their stores. Get to Builders, get it done. Now, to put yourself in line to win one of those 2 Mastercraft aluminium toolbox and socket sets, tell us which team was crowned the 2018 UEFA Champions League winners. SMS your name and answer to 45605, and of course remember you'll be charged R150 for every SMS you send. Now we start with this, with speculation linking Cape Town City coach Benny McCarthy with a possible move to Gauteng. City Chairman John Comitas says McCarthy is not going anywhere. Kaizer Chiefs and SuperSport United are reported to be interested in McCarthy, who took the Citizens to 5th place in the Absa Premiership in his debut coaching stint. But Comitas says he has been in contact with Benny and the 40-year-old is ready for the new season in Cape Town.
There'll be 3 definite signings in the next 10 days, and I'll then have to assess the situation when Coach Benny gets started with the pre-season. So in this stage we are looking to strengthen the squad, more attacking players and perhaps a goalkeeper. He qualified, he's got his pro license, I think that's a great thing for him. He's got a season under his belt now. I think he understands the enormity of the task, but I think he's up to it and he's definitely got what it takes. So we're excited to have him. I was speaking with him yesterday. He's in the UK. He'll be back on time to start. He's really motivated and we're ready for the new season.
Now, from talking about a relatively new coach, we move to the experienced Pitso Mosimane, who foresees a tough 2018-2019 season for Mamelodi Sundowns. The Absa Premiership Coach of the Year says the back-to-back CAF Champions League schedule will add to an already congested domestic calendar. Now, while this bottleneck of fixtures has become a regular feature for the Brazilians, it will be a bit more complicated this time around as the next Champions League calendar starts in December, only a few weeks after completion of the 2017-2018 final.
The difficult thing is to protect it again. And why it's going to be difficult is that this year we still have Champions League. And then we've got another Champions League, I'm told, starting in December. Because the next Champions League has to start when the season starts of PSL. Remember, they're squeezing it. So there's going to be 2 Champions League within the next 10 months. So, and the league? And the top 8, that's why we don't win the top 8, eh? And where's the Telkom? And if you want to win the Champions League, there's also Abu Dhabi, the FIFA World Cup. You remember when you come back, you are 9 games behind. And when you don't have when your story is not good, you know what SuperSport suffered. You know how Pirates suffered. You know what happened to Vets. You want to go on that train. It's a good train, but hey, it's difficult. So I must say to you that if you talk about the league again, we need to choose our battles very well. And I don't want to say we have to sacrifice the cups because it will look like you are disrespecting the sponsors. You got to do what you have to do. This is the time next year where all my players now have to play and see what we have in the bag.
Now, SuperSport United have vowed not to repeat the mistakes of the 2017-2018 season, where they were in the relegation zone for much of the campaign. Goalkeeper Ronwen Williams admits their early domestic form with 2 trophies in 4 months and the heavy CAF schedule played a part in their struggles.
Yeah, I mean, it was a roller coaster season. I mean, we started off, amazing. We won the Nedbank, and 2 months later we won the MTN 8, and then 2 months later we in the Confederations, and then, I mean, come January we couldn't win a game. I mean, I think we only won 1 game in 17. For the December-January period. So that was tough to deal with. I mean, we weren't in that situation for a very long time, so it was tough for the guys to deal with. But we managed to pull through, and it just shows the experience that we have in the team, and hopefully that will never happen to us again. We need to take advantage of this. I mean, there's teams that are going to be playing in the CAF competitions now. I mean, it's not easy. I mean, to go 2 years without a break, and only get 5-6 days off. It's not easy playing so much football, all the traveling. So we need to start fresh. Obviously with a new coach, or if they're going to keep Kaitano, start fresh. We know where we went wrong last season, and work on that and go take SuperSport where it needs to be again.
QT Sports CEO Tim Sugazi has revealed that former Kaizer Chiefs coach Steve Compella is not short of suitors. Sugazi, who manages Compella's business affairs, says the inquiries have come from as far as Canada, could you believe it, while 3 PSL sides have also shown interest.
Compella has gone through some tough and challenging last few months at Kaizer Chiefs. I think he's well documented out there. And being the man that he is, he's got a crocodile skin. He's a very, very positive guy. So he's been looking at everything always with a positive eye. And I guess that's why he is where he is with his career. So he's out of Chiefs, as we all know now, and we're busy paving his future. There's been some interest, strange enough, even from overseas, so we are busy now looking into each of those, and hopefully in the next 2 to 3 weeks, that's been our time target, that next 2 to 3 weeks we should conclude. At least he already knows where his future lies, because if it's local, clubs are starting with their preseason in the 2nd, 3rd week of June, so therefore, he needs to know very soon as to where his future lies. But it's not a question of him waiting for interest in him. People are interested in him. In South Africa, we have 3 approaches, and after a week or so, we'll start engaging firmly on them. Look, I'm sure I can tell you that overseas the interest comes from Canada, which is up in the US, quite far from South Africa, but it's an overseas interest, and the project sounds very, very promising. We'll see what happens in the next week or so with the Canadian interest. If nothing catches fire, indeed, we'll revert to our roots and conclude a deal here locally.
Now, the newly elected South African Football Association executive will have to hit the ground running following Saturday's elective Congress. Re-elected SAFA President Danny Jordan says the NEC's immediate mandate is to deliberate on the association's position regarding the 2026 FIFA World Cup bids. Both Morocco and the joint bid by Mexico, USA and Canada are courting South Africa, looking for support. Meanwhile, a meeting with Sports Minister Thokozile Xasa to map the way forward will also take place.
Last week, Morocco was here. They made a presentation to COSAFA, and there SAFA is part of COSAFA, made a proposal, and the CAF position that Morocco is an African bird, and this is a matter that this new executive must sit down and discuss with the Minister of Sport and with CAF. You may also know that during the visit of Barcelona, the president of CAF was here, and he had a meeting with the minister and the new executive, of course, must immediately discuss that question also. Next week, the United States bid will be arriving here, and they too want to engage Southern Africa and South Africa. So you can see at the international level this huge task that we must take on immediately. Of course, then at the international level, the under-20 must play in Malawi, and we hope on a home and away basis they qualify for AFCON. And then there's the preparation for Banyana leading up to qualification for first AFCON and then the 2019 Women's World Cup in France.
The fix is going to be the perfect slice of South African reality. It's going to bring you the hard stuff, but it's also going to be about us laughing about ourselves, at each other, but also celebrating some of our amazing people, our talent, and some of the ridiculous things that we get up to. The fix is going to give you an edge in the office on a Monday morning because you're going to be able to tell everyone what's coming up.
My name is Jack Swart. We're at the Mandela House at Victor Verster. In his book, there's a guy that he was boxing with. The guy's name was Malloy. Even invited him for lunch, and he never arrived. So Mandela looked at me and said, now